How much work do you think it is to take care of a rabbit? Rabbits are used in all varieties around the United States, whether they're used for 4-H rabbits, show rabbits, pets, livestock. Rabbits can be used as meat rabbits, rabbits for just their fur. Personally, I have had a rabbit for the last 3 years. Collectively, in 5 years, I have worked at a veterinary clinic and the Iowa State Veterinary School where I have specialized in rabbits. Also, on top of that, I am a teaching assistant for some undergraduate animal science classes where I lecture and teach the lab portions of the rabbit units. To understand rabbits properly, you need to know what kind of nourishment, handling, and also the kind of health care that rabbits need. To start off with rabbits' nourishment, the absolute key nutrient when taking care of rabbits is water. If rabbits don't have water, they get dehydrated and they cannot cool themselves. Rabbits use water as their internal cooling device, kind of like humans use sweat when they evaporate sweat on your arms to cool themselves off. Besides water, you also need to have a pelleted diet, which is just a dry diet. We usually call it pellets. It's about 1 ounce of pellets for every pound your rabbit weighs. It's pretty typical. On top of pellets, you can also give treats to your rabbit, and that's sometimes some of the most fun things to find, is you can give them stuff from your garden, whether it's veggies or fruit. Or you can go to the store and pick up some yogurt drops or rice pops or even dry fruits to use as treats. Some things, though, to keep in mind with treats are they need to be used in moderation. They're treats. They're not part of their diet. Another part of their diet that's really important is grass hay. In a 2017 article from the Vet Record, it goes over how hay is a super important part of rabbits' diet because rabbits cannot vomit. They get hair and food and whatever else they ingest in their stomach, and they cannot vomit it up. So the hay is used as a fiber and a roughage to help that through their GI system smoothly. That's basically what it takes to have nourishment for your rabbit. That's their diet for the most part. It's pretty straightforward as long as you keep along those guidelines. The next thing that if a rabbit stops eating, drinking, or even going to the bathroom can cause problems is their health care. Some of the most common diseases that rabbits have are from the 2013 website of the Stravin's Veterinary Association. It goes over how malocclusion is overgrowth of their teeth. That can be a problem. Or a sore hock, which means that they have pressure sores on the bottoms of their feet from being on wire and not having a solid surface to hop off of. An ear infection that's usually caused from ear mites, and the list can go on and on. They're pretty common diseases that rabbits encounter. But there's a lot of things that you can do at home to take care of them, including nail trims every couple weeks, checking their teeth every couple weeks to make sure that they're not overgrowing, grooming and brushing them to make sure your rabbit is happy and gets used to your touch too. That's also really important. Flea and tick treatment, even if your rabbit is inside or outside, those are important because you can always bring that into the rabbit. Those are just some of the things that you can do. There's a whole long list more, and it's important that you do your research on this when you get a rabbit because you don't want to not be up to date on it if your rabbit isn't doing well. And there was an article from 2016 from the North American Veterinary Association that goes over how rabbits are prey animals and that they don't like to show their weakness when they're sick. Usually a predator would come after them if they show those signs of weakness. So as an owner, it can be really difficult to pick these signs out, and sometimes it can be as subtle as she didn't finish her food today. That could be a subtle change that might not be drastic, but it could be detrimental if you don't pick up on them. So that's another thing you need to keep in mind if you're thinking about getting a rabbit or properly taking care of one. So that's about the healthcare. There's a whole list of things I could go through in this presentation, and there's tons of stuff. And the fun part about having a bunny is being able to handle your rabbit and also exercise your rabbit. There's multiple ways to exercise your rabbit. I like to put her on a leash, and she has a harness, and she can run around the yard as she pleases. Or you can also get a pen that has a top on it so that your rabbit doesn't jump out and so you don't have a rabbit anymore. It's easy, and then she can run around in the grass and understand the bearings of the area she lives in, because everyone lives in a different area for the variety of rabbit you have. Those are all important things for exercise. They can run around, they can get their time in outside, get some fresh air. Handling is another really important part of a rabbit. Handling can be very stressful on a rabbit if it's not done frequently and properly. It is something that's how you create a bond with your rabbit, kind of like how a man's best friend is a dog. You can have a woman's best friend can be a rabbit. It's kind of fun, and it's pretty simple and straightforward for handling a rabbit. So this is my rabbit Lola. For handling her, you want her on a solid surface on all fours. I usually have her horizontal to my body, so perpendicular. And then you can take your dominant hand and you scruff the back of her neck kind of like a cat. You're not going to hurt her. You're just giving her extra support. You're going to take your non-dominant hand and slip it underneath the front of her face and grab onto her back paws and bring her to your body. This is how you properly handle a rabbit that is safe and so that she feels secure and she won't try and run away from you. When you put her back down, you put her hind legs down first, holding both hands still on her. You release your non-dominant hand, and then you can let go of her scruff and even just pet her for confidence. Handling is how you can make a connection with your rabbit. If they get used to your hands on them, they'll just get used to you overall. It is something that's how you make your connection with your rabbit and have a bond. To conclude, nourishment is important for rabbit care, whether it's water, diet, treats, or even the amount of grass hay that they get. Their health care, there's a whole list of diseases that rabbits can have just like any other animal, and you need to be up to date if you decide that you want to get a rabbit. Routine exercise and even handling is also important so you can make that connection with your rabbit and you can have those fun memories with your rabbit. And I bet after watching this presentation you think rabbits are a lot more work than you did before.